Greetings, Israel, Judah. It's your brother DFG. Hey guys, I want to talk about a subject that can be a little sensitive, but I'm going to bring it up anyway because you know your brother. I'm not afraid to talk about things that are relevant to us and our walk before our Creator. You know, we don't, in my personal opinion and what I believe and what I read, what I study, what I see, we don't have a lot of time left here. Yah is judging this wicked earth, and he's going to judge every bit of wickedness that walks on this particular earth. I'm talking about mankind, Israel and the heathen. So 2/3 Israel and the heathen is going to be judged. The righteous among us, he's going to judge too. But this particular message is to address what I was talking about the other day. Because I know whenever that subject comes up, and the subject is a very sensitive subject, because again, we're taught to have animosity now between the Israelite man and woman, so-called African American. And I don't know if this exists on the islands or in the islands, in the United Kingdom, where else. You know, you can put that in the comments, my brothers and sisters, if y'all see the same thing. But see, here in North America, there is an agenda, and they're working hard. They're, grinding it to powder to create animosity between the Israelite male and female. And you heard me talking about it. They come up with every kind of dramatic incidents, whether they dramatize, or inflate, even a better word, any type of animosity, any type of issue between the black man, so-called, and black woman. Okay, I'm not going to use black anymore. I'm talking about us Israelites. But anything that they can come up, if an incident happens, they'll take a camera or take a mic and they throw it right in the face of the opposite sex between us to make sure we understand just how much we don't need each other. And they go all in. They go hardcore, grind it to powder, all in. And, and as your brother listened to this, just thinking, just with some clarity, common sense, I guess is the right word. I'm saying that I hope my brothers and sisters are not taking this goddamn wicked ass bait. I hope they don't really believe what they're hearing. I really hope that what they see, they understand that it's driven through propaganda, socially engineering, intentionally deceiving, persuading our brothers, our sisters that we are adversaries. And I bring this up because I want to talk about, my sisters, some of you who mentioned to your brother about, the comment about the covering. And this message is about that complicated conversation, because I get it. I understand with all the propaganda you've already heard me talk about, it's very easy to believe there aren't any good men. It's easy to believe it because if that's all you're hearing, that's all you're being told, that's all you're being shown, except you have something to counter that, then that's something that you're going to be considering. So I get it. I understand. But I want to tell my sister something. When you read Isaiah 4:1, if you're walking away from that thinking that that's an attack against you, then be better. That's all I can say to you. Come on. I need you to just to up your intellect just a little bit more. Because first of all, it's not an attack. It's a warning. It's a big difference. An attack is when something is happening to you, and quite frankly, you under duress. It ain't a whole lot you can do other than defend yourself to try to fight off the attack. A warning is totally different. Isaiah 4:1 is a warning of what is going to happen. Simply means that a warning is to open your eyes, to create a certain level of consciousness so you can avoid the trouble. But because of social engineering of our women, a lot of our ladies, they get caught up, the daughters of Zion, they get caught up in their feelings, and the first thing they want to think is attack. That's not an attack. Isaiah 4:1 is not an attack. Again, it's a warning. And I'm going to say this else. Let me say this also to my brothers and sisters. Typically, if somebody warning you about something, that means they care about you. When they don't care about you, they just attack you. When they don't care about you, they'll tell you about the problem you are, how bad you are, how unworthy you are, how no good you are. But when they care about you or you matter to them, then they'll warn you. maybe about the things that you're doing. Maybe they'll warn you about the decisions you're making. Maybe they'll warn you about, risk, reward, consequences, so that you can avoid the danger. Isaiah 4:1, as I understand it, 7-1 I'm talking about, 7 women to 1 man, is a warning. It is a judgment, but it's a judgment only to those who do not take heed. In other words, they don't look at how they are living their lives. Simple as that. Yah is saying, if you live your life carelessly, and you're willing to allow the vanities of this world to dictate to you what value looks like, then there's going to be a reward, risk, consequence. He's saying if you seek after the things of this world and your own edification is all about you, that's okay. But all about you means only you. And so when things or shit hits the fan, then you're going to only be by yourself and nobody going to be there to help you. And I just want to clean that up. I don't want my sisters to walk around thinking that this brother is interested in your demise. I'm not. Not that it matters and nobody is asking, but I was raised, in a single parent home, my mom. With 8 siblings, 7 siblings. I was the 8th. Not the 8th in order, but I was one of 8. Single mom, struggling mom. Did the best she could with what she had. So I don't have no hate woman agenda. Not this brother. What I hate is the fact that we're being influenced by the demons over this earth. The 2/3 Israelite demons as well. To turn on each other. And what they're using as the caveat is somehow or another we're a danger to one another. Or if we can't, create a lifestyle that the other wants for the other, then we're not worthy of each other. Lifestyles. And inside of that, creating that right lifestyle, do whatever you got to do to get the bag. Whatever you got to do to get money. Just don't be broke. Who wants a broke nigga? And this is what we're being told. And now we're at a place where some of my sisters, this is getting deep into the core of this message, where now some of my sisters are asking, well, Brother DFG, where can I find a good man? I hear what you're saying. Hell, I agree that it'd be better for me to have protection than not having protection. I agree. Sleeping at home or sleeping alone in the bed by myself, it gets cold sometimes. It gets lonely. Sometimes, I hear noises in the house or in the apartment, wherever you might be. So if you're asking me, would I prefer to be alone than to have a man? Then I'm saying, just speaking here in the third person, sisters, all right? Then yes, I would want to have a man. But I want a man of quality. I want a man, that's my equal. Well, if you're talking and that describes you, then let me say this to you. That's not an impossibility. I know it may look like it, but it isn't. And when you talk in terms of, well, where are they? Well, let me give you some examples that you're not the first daughter of Zion that was dealing with what you're dealing with right now. Let me tell you a couple of things about the ancient ones. I'm going to tell you why, studying that Torah, studying the Tanakh, the Apocryphal books are so important. Because see, in studying those books, you know what we learn about? Yeah, we learn about the standards, we learn about the laws, we learn about the statutes and the commandments of Abba Yahuah. Yes, we do. But you know what else we learn about? Interactions of our people. How we socialized. What we learned about the challenges of our people. How we won, how we lost, how we cheered, how we cried. And again, I can't overemphasize why being a part of study groups, studying Abba Yah's Torah Tanakh, an apocryphal book. It's extremely important in these last days. This is not to force you anybody into anything. At the end of the day, judgment is sitting there for each and every one of us, brothers and sisters, and we all going to be held accountable. If you're a believer, you're going to be held accountable for what the decisions that you made. If you're a believer, if you're a non-believer, you're still going to be held accountable. You just don't know it yet, but you will be. You will have to face judgment. All of us. Nobody gets around it. I know some don't want to believe it. I don't believe it. Still true. Right now it's raining. I can say it ain't raining, but if I walk my ass out there, I'm going to get wet. So what does it matter what I think? The reality is the reality. So to my dear sisters, let me tell you some things. Let me tell you about some of your ancestors, your Israelites. I'm talking to you ladies, daughters of Zion. If your heart is right before Abba Yah, there's nothing you can ask of him that he will not give unto you. But you have to ask it, or you have to seek it with all your heart. You follow me? Our book tells us about, in 2 Chronicles 7:14. Y'all don't need me to quote it because I said it too many times. But here are some examples that we learned through studying together, through the Bible studies, for an example. Let's go back. Let me give you some examples. Let's talk about Isaac, one of our forefathers. Isaac was the father of Jacob. Now, you should know that. But if you don't, that's okay. I'm not judging you, but you should know that. If you love the Most High, and you're asking that question, where can I find a good man? And you don't know who Isaac is? Problem number one. I said problem number one. So I'm telling you, finding a good man is not your problem. Problem number one is you need to be in the book. You need to learn about your history, learn about your people, learn about the creator that you say you believe in. Because in learning about him, you're going to find out that, that our forefather Israel, Jacob, had a dad. I know that sounds elementary, but I suspect they got some folk out here who are looking for a good man, but don't know about the history of their men. Their mothers as well, the fathers and the mothers, don't even know anything about it. They know about the old stuff the pastor told them about the other day, yesterday, which I would bet $5 to a nickel. He said nothing that you could use to get you through this week, other than just have a positive attitude and know, y'all got you. And and I know, y'all don't have most of our people. Y'all had us, we wouldn't be living in these conditions and dealing with the shit most of us are dealing with. Excuse the strong language, but, it's family talk here. So we're going to just say it how it needs to get said. It's going to come out the way you need to hear it, at least the way he gives it to me to give to you. But his voice is like thunder. He's not no effeminized, horse whisperer. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like y'all get it. But when Isaac, here's to the sisters who are saying, where are the good men, brother DFG? It took me 13 minutes to get to this. But you look at Isaac, when Abraham was ready for Isaac, he thought Isaac was of age now. He's ready for a woman. First of all, he taught his son about the ways of the Most High. He most certainly did. And I know Abraham taught him because Abraham was taught by his grandfather, Moses. Not Moses, Noah, I'm sorry. But again, say, how you know that, brother DFG? Because we're studying. We're learning about it through the Bible studies. And if we're learning it, you can learn it too. And if you're not with a group that's teaching that, then, okay, you're not going to follow this story properly. But when he was ready for his son Isaac to have a woman, he told him, you go get someone of your own people. That's quote unquote. All these people want to call us racist. Well, if I'm racist, then Abraham was racist. And if Abraham is racist, the creator is racist, because Abraham was considered a friend of Yahuah. So he tells him, I want you to go find a wife for my son, but you go of my people, our people, and find her. And so Eliezer, his servant, went out and he found Rebecca. And so where was Rebecca? With her kind, with her people. Not realizing that a man was coming for her, but he still was coming. What am I saying? Just because you don't see one coming don't mean he's not coming. Question is, are you ready for when he gets there? She was ready. Rebecca was ready when Eliezer came there. He said he walked around, he saw this beautiful daughter of Zion just taking care of business. Good servant mentality. helpful. What do you need? What can I get? This is what she's saying to Eliezer. How can I help you? What are you looking for? Oh, yeah, here's some water. What else you need? Oh, these are my people, my father, my family. And immediately he said, look at the heart of this woman. Yeah, she is the one. She is the one for my master. Meaning, that time he was talking about Isaac. And guess what? Yah sent her that needle in a haystack. It came and found her. Because she was what she was doing, what she should have been doing. She was where she was supposed to be. And Yah knew it. Is that you, sister? Are you where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing? Forget about the man. What about yourself? Because if you want Yah to send him, you have to be where Yah wants you to be found. Okay, let's go to another example. Let's go to our dear brother, our forefather, I shouldn't call him our brother, Jacob, Israel, Yasharel. That's, 12 tribes, that's where we're from. And how did he get his woman? Well, some might say under duress. Brother was on the run. His own brother, you know what I'm saying? Out of envy and jealousy. Behind something his own brother created, by the way. His own brother started the fire, and then when it started to burn, he wanted to put the fire out, and it was out of control. In other words, he made promises that he could not keep, and then when the consequences started, then it was time to own those promises. He had to deal with the decisions that he had made, and he wasn't ready for those decisions. That's why, again, why do we have structure? Why do we have the Tanakh? Why are we having the Bible study? Again, yes, I'm going to promote the studying because you don't know Yah unless you know Yah. And you can't know Yah, brothers and sisters, unless you spend time before him. Not just in prayer and not just in some meditation without information. You can't serve a creator that you know nothing about. And you can't meet his expectations except you understand what is expected of you. And you're not going to find that in no religion. You're going to find that in his Torah. Clear guidelines for each and every one of us to follow. To make sure we're strong, that we're healthy, that we're safe. And we're staying inside of his grace so that we can receive his blessings. So Jacob is on the run from a brother who wants revenge for a poor decision that he made, the other one made. Esau, to be clear. But in his journey, what happens? He's told to go to his mother's family. Again, keep it in the family. He's told to go to his mother's family. He gets to his mother's family and he meets, his uncle, Laban, right? And then Laban got daughters who are virgins. And he happens to see one of those daughters, Rachel. And according to the book, and you can look this up, she was so beautiful, the man got teary-eyed. And he told her father, what do you want? I'll do whatever I have to do. But where was she? Right where she was supposed to be. Doing exactly what she was supposed to be doing. And Yah sent him. And if you know the story of Jacob and Rachel, it's a beautiful love story. It's a beautiful love story. And I'm sure what may have seemed impossible to even Jacob at the time, and maybe to a lesser degree Rachel, she probably didn't realize that Yah was about to send, her man. A man who would be a great man, a man who would be the father of many nations. And she would have 2 sons for this man. But again, what might be impossible for man, not impossible for the Creator. Again, to my sisters, for those of you who are saying, Brother DFG, where they are. The question is not where those men are. The question is where you are, my dear sister. Are you where you're supposed to be? Are you doing the things that you need to do? Because Yah sees everything. And so we don't have to have a lack of faith in Yah in terms of, where the good men are. Because that's what that equates to. So let me remind you, trust in Yah with all your heart. Lean not to your own understandings. In all your ways acknowledge him, and what? He will direct your path. That's Proverbs what? Chapter 3, verse 3 through 5. Written by the wisest man ever lived. Example 2. So he found her. They ended up with Leah, and 2 others, but he was looking for the one. And she was what she needed to be, and she was blessed with him. Let's go with Abigail. So now, I know I gave you the men, but let me go back to this. Let me clean this up for my dear sisters who asked that question. An important question, a legitimate question, but a question that can be answered and a need that can be fulfilled. So we talked about Rebecca. Yah sent a servant to go find her so he can bring her to the man that he had assigned for her. We talk about Rachel. Even though her father was a little clever, little wicked little devil, it didn't get in the way of her blessings. Yah sent a man who would be the head of our people, the 12 tribes. Found her where she was supposed to be. Yah knew where she was, and Yah created the situation. Even though it was a hostile situation for Jacob, but had that hostility not have happened, he would not have found Rachel. And brothers, I want to say that to you. Just because your life ain't perfect, don't mean Yah don't have that right woman for you either. Okay? But again, you have to be obedient. You have to be moving as the first of the steps of a righteous man is ordered by Yahuah. A righteous man. What is a righteous man? A man who stands up and he is manly, and part of his manliness is he obeys the Torah. That's why you need to be with us in the studies. You don't need no passport to go find a woman of Yah. You need to trust Yah and just be obedient, and Yah will lead that woman or put that woman right where you can find her. You don't need that. You damn sure don't need to be that, with that MGTOW. I don't need no woman going on without a woman. Yah says it's not good for a man to be alone, my brother. If he says it's not good for you, and I'm talking to you, but if you ain't a believer, then this ain't for you. Then, go on out there. Keep on doing what you're doing. We're good. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the brothers, the righteous brother, who does, understand that a helpmate is there to add to his quality of life. She's a helper. She was created to be an asset. And if she's obeying Yah, she's not a liability. She's an asset. The heathens are lying and telling you that most of our women are liability. Some are, no question about it, but not all of them. But if you don't have the right mindset, you're not trusting Yah, then where you going to end up at? With a liability more than likely. But if you trust Yah, you're going to get a helper. You're going to get a woman of quality. Both of our forefathers did. Those 2 I mentioned, Isaac, and I also talked about Jacob, using words that we all understand. How do I know this again? Because I'm studying the scripture. They need the New Testament to help me with these stories. These truths, absolute truths. So now let's go to one more, I'm going to give you more. King David. Let's talk more importantly about Abigail. Abigail was married to a loser. A vain vanity. Look at me. Look what I got. I'm better than everybody else. Loser. Because it looked like he was winning because he had a lot of material things. But he was a loser because he didn't understand that those things didn't make him the man. Those things were just byproducts that a man could get. Any man could get that depending on what he's willing to do to have it. And I know that about Nabal, her husband, because when the man of Yah came, he didn't even recognize the man. In other words, when the man came with a need, he didn't see the need. All he saw is, who is this guy? I know about him. I know he's on the run. I know he's, trying to, reap what he ain't sowed. This is my shit. I ain't giving him nothing. This is what he said about David of all people. This is what Abigail's husband said. So to my daughters of Zion, if you with one of those, them kind of guys, they don't care nothing about y'all, only care about, materialism. And no matter how hard you have tried to tell them, you want a man of Yah, but they're not listening. I already give you examples of women who were single. So if you're a single daughter of Zion, don't mean that Yah doesn't have a man for you. He does. Is he going to find you where you're supposed to be? That's the question. These men didn't find these women in the club or in the streets or running around and hanging out, in the malls and the shopping centers. These women were where they were supposed to be, doing what they need to have been doing their assigned calling from Yahuah. I'm talking about Rachel and I'm talking about Rebecca. So now we got Abigail, who hears about David's need. Although her husband is saying, the hell with David. I don't give a shit about David. I ain't giving him nothing. His problem, not my problems. That was his attitude. And of course, David being the man that he was, he took that. He took that some kind of way, if y'all know what I mean. He ain't like that response because he was doing things that Nabal didn't even know he was doing to protect Nabal's property, her man, Abigail's husband. Here David's out there on the perimeters, keeping the enemy from stealing the stuff, keeping the enemy from coming in there, invading, stealing his women, stealing their David was doing all kinds of things, but David wasn't going over there bragging about it. David went over there, hey, bro, look at me, see what I did for you, what you going to do for me. That's not a service mentality. That's not the way man of Yah works. He don't sit around there and wait for somebody to give him something for him to do something. He sees a need, he meets the need. He sees a need, he goes towards that need. He addresses the need. He don't have to be told what to do. He already knows what to do because why? He knows the ways of the Creator. He knows how to be a brother. He knows how to be a friend. He knows how to be a father. He knows how to be a lover. And he knows it has nothing to do with being, effeminate being a lover. Being a lover means he knows how to handle his house. He knows how to take care of the needs of his woman. He knows how to be where he's supposed to be and get the job done, wherever that is. But Abigail was married to a fool because he felt like all his things, that defined him. He didn't care about his brother and meeting the needs of his brother. All he could say, again, who he think he is, I don't owe him nothing. Well, maybe he should have thought about, maybe I don't owe David anything, but if Yah bless me, the blessing of Abba Yah make a man rich and ask no sorrow with it. Isn't that what the proverb says? Since Yah is blessing me, maybe he's blessing me to meet the need in those times of when a righteous man shows up on the scene. But there's an old saying, the fool and his money is soon to part. In Nabal's case, Abigail's husband, that became a reality real fast because there was Abigail who had to deal with this man who she knew didn't give nothing about nobody but himself, his stuff. And now you got David angered because David has a need, although he's been protecting, around the perimeter of Nabal. Now when he has a need, Nabal tells him, I don't care about your need. Get out of here with that. Not going to do anything to help you. So David gets mad, and this is what David said. Our loving King David, a man after Yahuah's heart. He said, I'm going to go over there to Nabal's house, and every man in that household, from the child to adult, I'm killing every last one of them. That's what he said. How do you know that, brother? Because again, we studying the book. And see, we're not in the book looking for little lightweight wins. Manpower wins. Woman dollar lose. No, we're in the trenches. We're at war. We understand we're at war. So we know we got to get in that word, learn that word, and know how to apply the word as we learn that word. We ain't just hearing it. We're looking and learning to do it. Is that right, my brothers and sisters? As old wicked ass devil Gene says, am I right about it? Oh yeah, we're there to study, to learn, to inform, educate, and to do, execute. So when Yah does finalize this thing here, we're part of the winners. Not with the rest of the 2/3 losers and the rest of these heathens that he's going to destroy. But Abigail, let's get back to her. Another righteous daughter of Zion. Probably thought she was stuck with that fool, Nabal. But she wasn't. And when she saw it and she heard the need of David, because she was where she needed to be, she addressed that need. And then she reminded him, she said, now, David, you don't want to do this. Here's the things you were asking for. I'm married to a fool. He doesn't have enough sense to know when he's in danger and when he's not. But here are the things that you need for you and your man, and thank you. And I want to remind you, don't do no harm over here. You don't want no blood on your hands, David, behind this fool. Don't make a fool make you a fool. Just say, if you kill this man and these people, when you become king one day and you are on your way, you're on your way to your reward, your purpose. Don't let him take you off your purpose. And that's the same thing to my brothers and sisters. Don't let other idiots, other foolish men get you off your purpose. And don't let foolish women get you off your purpose. Because there are good ones out there, my brothers. That's a lie. If there ain't no good ones, then Yah would be lying, because Yah didn't say there weren't any good women. That's not in the book. That's what men are saying. That's not what the book teaches. Is there a lot of wickedness and everything else going on? You know, and I know, and we ain't got to go there. We go there enough already. I want to talk about solution here. So sisters and my brothers on this one. So Abigail brought what he needed, what he was seeking, and reminded him, hey man, don't let nobody mess with your destiny and get caught up in this foolishness in these streets out here. And David heard her, and he listened to her, and he thanked her. You know what else he said to her? If the time comes, and unbeknownst to her, that time was coming very, very soon. But if the time comes, I'm going to be here for you, Abigail. See, daughters and sons, I'm saying, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're doing, in your right mind, and that means lined up with Yah's Torah, trusting him, trusting Yah that although the situation may not be perfect for me, but if I keep my eyes on Yah, he promised that he would show himself strong in my life. And in her case, she didn't realize she was soon to be a queen. Because guess what? When that fool that she was married to realized that how close he came to death, Yah judged him for his selfishness. Yah judged him for disrespecting Yah's man. And guess what else? That fool died the next day. Had a stroke, then a heart attack, and was dead. And where did Abigail end up? Right there with the king. Some say one of the children between Abigail and David was Daniel the prophet. And she did have a son named Daniel with David. And so there again, you see, for the daughters, you may think you're stuck in a situation, there aren't any good men out there. They are there. The question is, are you where you need to be so they can find you there? Yah sees everything. Again, let me remind you, 2 Chronicles 16:9. What did it say? The power, the spirit of Abba Yahuah, our Father, our Creator, Yahuah, goes throughout the whole earth. Again, 2 Chronicles 16:9, looking to show itself strong for who? For those whose hearts are perfect towards him. He wants to show himself strong in your life. And what is showing yourself strong means what? Blessing you, rewarding you. Why? Because you're being obedient. You're putting yourself in a place where you can be blessed. And you're not speaking words like, they ain't no good ones. No, Yah has them. Because let's go back to where I began. Now, I hope these 3 examples helped you. I hope I showed you how David, Jacob, Isaac, all mighty men of in our ancestral line. I talked about beautiful women, Abigail. I talked about Rebecca. I talked about Rachel. Women who were so beautiful that men started crying when they saw them. But these were women who were where they were supposed to be, doing what they were supposed to be doing. Not knowing that Yah had a blessing, and Yah had that man coming. And that man showed up. And these women were blessed. All 3 of them. And there are others, but I want to just give you just a little taste of the truth. How do I know these things because we're studying it out in the script. How you don't know these things? If you're in a situation and you're asking that question, where is their man? Where are they? I can't find any. It's only because you're either in an environment where they're not teaching the truth or you're not listening. And that's why I'm inviting you to join us. Brothers, you too. Because that's a 2-way street need. We need, good women, and good women need good men. And what's a good man? A righteous man is a man who obeys Abba Yah's Torah, who keeps Abba Yah's commandment. David did it. Wasn't perfect, but David kept the commandments. David was a man of strong repentance, strong love for Yah. When that damn wicked Goliath was talking shit, what did David tell him? Man, I'm gonna cut your foreskin off and chop your head off. No, he said, this uncircumcised heathen. That's what he said. I don't want to misquote him. He said, before the day is out, I'm gonna hand your head to you. And he did it. So when you go back to Isaiah 4, I'm going to end where I began. When it says 7 to 1, sisters, remember, there was one. So are there any good men? Yeah. It didn't say there wouldn't be one. It said there would be 7 to 1. But I'm not interested in you being a part of the 7. I'm only warning you of the consequence of having no relationship with your Creator, or confusing religion, or prayer in and of itself, as works. Pray, yes, we do. Meditate, we are told, day and night. But along that then is, what are you doing in the meantime? Because if you're doing what you're supposed to do, Yah is going to answer the prayers. That's his word. Yah is not a man that he's going to lie. Numbers 23 and 19, right? Says if he said it, he is able to perform it. So no, you don't have to be out there. You don't have to be victimized. That's not what your brother was talking about, on the message from a day ago. What I was reminding the sisters, that there is a consequence for wickedness. And Yah is judging them all. I didn't get into the men, but you know why there's only one man? Because Yah going to probably, if it was 1 to 1, he already destroys the 6 of them, because the 6 of them over there doing them. And Yah going to destroy their wicked asses. Talking about the wicked ass men. The ones who don't know Yah, don't love Yah, who want to do what the hell they want to do. But there is always, Yah's always going to have a remnant. The question is, are you the right woman? Are you ready when he comes? Because, Satan can send something to you too. 3 or 4 of them, 5 or 6, 7 or 8 of them. Different times, one at a time, or all at a time. All at a time, we know that's another word for whoredom. But he ain't, he don't care about no woman being no whore. He prefers a whore. But a righteous daughter of Zion, who can find her? But she's there. Isn't that not what Proverbs talked about? I want to say it's Proverbs 31 and 6. Who can find a righteous or virtuous woman? Virtuous woman, just a righteous woman. So don't just look, sisters, at the men who are you can't find. What about the women? Because that's what it said. Who can find one of you? Didn't say you couldn't be found. It said who can find one. And see, in teaching and learning, these things are important. These things are relevant. And that's why we're here, the watchmen, to remind our brothers and sisters that Yah's word is good. Yah is good for his word. So no, that 7 to 1 warning is not necessarily to you. 20 to 1, whatever the number might end up being. That's not necessary. If you're loving Yah and obeying and keeping his commandments, his statutes, his laws, constantly being a part of other like-minded people who are teaching those things, so it's always on your mind. The study is about keeping it on your mind, keeping the word in front of you all the time. That's why we're studying. Anybody that's ever been in our studies will tell you we never ask anybody for anything, ever, not one time. Your attendance, but that's it. But we're not on there, asking and begging for anything. We're just teaching, reminding, and saying, okay, if you have any questions, email us. And that's how you're going to be able to find what you're looking for. Because Yah will send him to you, sister, is what I'm saying. But he ain't going to send him to you if you're not in a proper place. Proper place means having the proper relationship. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to love him, and you have to meditate upon his word. You have to study his word. You have to keep his commandments too. And if you do, he's true to his word. He will hear your prayers. Proverbs 28 and 9. He hears the prayers of those who keep his Torah. Because he said if you don't keep the Torah, your prayers are an abomination. So if you're keeping the Torah, that means what? Your prayers will be your blessings. He will bless you. Again, Second Chronicles 2 and Second Chronicles 7 and 14. Let me say that with you. Y'all, if you probably know it by now. Right? What does it say? Y'all remember? My people who are called by my name, Israel, if they would be humble, stop all this, ain't no this, ain't no that, would be humble themselves and pray, relationship, meditation, and seek my face, listen, hear, keep his commandments. He said, and turn away from their wickedness. That means doing anything that goes against his Torah, brothers and sisters, dear sister, for you in particular. At least attempt, try, find out what they are. Many of our sisters don't even know anything about the commandments. All they know is, they're done away with. That's what the liars told you, because Yah Torah is never done away with, forever. So it's how you're going to be judged, how all of us are going to be judged. We're going to be judged off of his Torah, not off just belief. The devils believe and tremble, so belief in itself is not going to get us in. That's the lie the heathens told us. But that's not the truth. The truth is we're going to be judged by his Torah. Our willingness to obey his Torah. Those things that we can obey. It's in our power to obey. Not in our desire to obey. I said in our power to obey. Yah's not interested in your desire. He is interested in your desire, as long as your desire does not conflict with his words, his Torah. All right, our Torah. So we come together so we can always be reminding each other that and studying it out. And then guess what's going to happen? Just like David showed up for Abigail and Eliezer showed up on behalf of Isaac to Rebekah, and how that, Jacob, Jacob, Israel showed up for Rachel. Want to show up for you. But there is an expectation from Yah for that to happen. So I ask that you at least consider what I said. Don't be like these idiots out here who don't want to hear nothing from nobody and then want to talk shit when things don't go their way. Be wise. Be wise. Consider. Remember what Isaiah said to us? Isaiah chapter 1 and 3 said what? The ox knows its master, the ass, the ox knows its owner, the ass his master's crib. But he said, Israel, we won't consider, we don't know, we won't consider. And the reason we don't know, because we are not willing to make the necessary changes in our lives to get to know him. And a part of getting to know him is to study the Torah, is to study the Tanakh, is to study the Apocrypha books. And if you need help with that, then Yah put men, like-minded men like myself there to assist, women too. Okay? And again, if you want to be a part of that group, let me tell you, I'll give you a toll-free number, 516-597-9598. Every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Yah willing. So, Daughters of Zion, I hope this helps a little bit. If he sent men for all those women, and these women probably didn't even know where those men were, like you're saying, where they at? Where they at? It doesn't matter about where they are. What would matter more than that is, where are you? Are you going to be where you need to be when Yah sends them? Or better say, will Yah send them to you because you where you are? Yes. If you're not, be careful. Satan will send some. Or he'll just tell you you're better off being by yourself. Which is a flat out lie. Even though you might believe it. There's a way that seemed right to a man. Proverbs 14 and 12. Please read that, sisters. Please read Isaiah. I'm sorry, say it again. Please read Proverbs 14 and 12. Okay? Read it. Just read Proverbs 14 and 12. Then ask yourself, what does that mean? And then ask yourself, how does that look for me? Am I on the right track or not? All right? So again, I hope this helps. You know what I'm saying? I realize that, it is tough out here. Not easy. But just because it's not easy and just because it's tough don't mean it's impossible for Yah. Nothing is impossible for Yah. Is there anything too possible for Elohim Yahuah? No. All right? And his desire is to reward us and to bless us, as he said in Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. But inside of that, in order for us to achieve those rewards, those blessings, then we have to do what, brothers and sisters? We have to be in relationship with him. And then he'll bring to us the things that we need, because he said he would bless, or better said, answer our prayers. All right? Heal our land. All right, that's all I got for you, my dear sisters. Brothers, I hope you're listening too. And also something last, has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. To my brothers, go read 2 Samuel. To my clean-faced brothers, no beard brothers, go read 2 Samuel 10 and 14. And there's a reason I'm telling you to read it. We'll talk about it somewhere down the road. All right, if you have any questions after you read it, put it in the comments, email your brother. And we'll talk about that. All right? But there's something to be said about that hair on your face, or the lack thereof. All right, my brothers and sisters. All right. Yahuah Shalom. Thumb up the video. Share the video. It'd be much appreciated. Brother DFG, Yahuah Shalom.